Hey everybody, today I'm here with a review of the LEGO DC Superheroes set, Batman the Riddler Chase. This is set number 76012. It has 304 pieces, recommended from ages 6 to 12. This was on the shelves from January of 2014 to December of 2015, where it retailed for $30. First, let's take a look at the box. I don't have the box anymore, so here's a picture of the front of the box and the back of the box. Now let's take a look at the instructions. This set has two instruction booklets. The first one has you building the Riddler's dragster. It's got some figures in the corner here. We got Batman and Flash, who are both in this set, and then Man-Bat, who is not in this set, which is kind of interesting, but not really. Example of the play feature, all the pieces in the set, some ads for the rest of the sets in the wave, Win. And this one has you building the Batmobile. Oh, yeah, and then it just shows off the play features at the end. So no back page or anything. And then, of course, it comes with a mini comic, which you can pause to read if you so desire. And then ad for the figures from the 2013-2014 wave of sets. Now let's take a look at the minifigures. Our first figure is Batman. From what I can find, this figure seems to be based off of the design from the Beware the Batman cartoon. The Batman in that show has a much darker suit than the gray they chose for this figure. It's almost dark enough where you can't differentiate the gloves and trunks from the suit. That aspect of the design is something that they tried to capture here by making the hands the same color as the suit, but they didn't do that for the trunks, which makes the decision to make the hands the same color an odd choice to me. I feel like if they were going to take a creative liberty and make the trunks black, then they should have done that with the hands. And on the other hand, if they made the trunks and the hands the same gray as the rest of the suit, I feel like that would have looked just as weird. Basically what I'm saying is they should have just given him black hands. Other than that, I think this is a good Batman design. He does have back printing, and the usual Batman head from this time with the headband, and also the second face that's smiley. He also comes with two batarangs. Our next figure is the Flash. This is the first Flash figure to ever be released, and I think they pretty much mostly nailed it from the jump. The torso is exactly what you'd expect from the Flash, as well as the back torso. Now, the helmet, I will say, is a hard rubber instead of a plastic, and that's, I think, the biggest issue here, because for one thing, you can kind of see that the yellow print from the lightning has kind of been wearing away over time, and then the fact that the clutch power on the head it's a little loose, so it kind of comes off easily. But design-wise, I think it's got a great shape to it. I think it's really cool. And underneath, of course, you have the head, which, on camera doesn't look so bad, but I think the flesh tone print on the red is a little redder in real life. And then here's a second face, which I think you can see a little more that it's a little red, especially in the teeth. And you can see his second expression with the helmet on. He also comes with a banana, so that's, yeah. And finally we have the Riddler, and he comes with a gold crowbar piece, which could either be trying to represent his question mark cane, or it could just be a gold crowbar. But I think the only time that Riddler has had his question mark cane was in the Lego Batman movie sets, and they never did that piece again, so I don't know, I'd like to see that make a comeback. But taking a look at the figure a little closely, he has some sort of jacket design, question marks all over it, obviously, and a purple scarf that's hanging around the backside. His legs are kind of split up by the green and the dark green colors. I don't know if this costume is based on anything in particular, so it's not really your standard Riddler design. But he, of course, has the classic Riddler face and his bowler hat in green. But that's all for the figures. Now let's take a look at the set. So here we have the Riddler's dragster car. It's an interesting build, to say the least. It's very skinny. Only two plates high, 3 if you include this, which I think is only here for support in the middle, because this is 1 plate. But you have these very tiny wheels in the front and these big wheels in the back, so it's very back heavy, which allows you to pop it like that. And there's a play feature that's included with that, which I'll get to in a second. You have the spoiler here, which is only connected by this Technic axle piece that's just stuck on here. So it kind of has a little bit of a swivel that happens when you move it in certain ways, or at like a certain speed. I don't know. And then this is on a hinge, so this rotates as well. On the back of here, you've got some bags full of money. There's $200 in each of these bags. In the middle, we have this big engine piece, which has these grills on hinge pieces, angled so that they're a little sideways. A lot of engine greebling on here. There's this wheel piece that's sticking out here. And then these flames, which are sticking out from the bottom, connected to these Technic pin plate things, whatever they're called. And then, of course, you have this little 2x2 area in here where you can stick the Riddler in there, and there we go. You can stick him in there, and then he can drive off. And now, the main part about this part being so back heavy is that there's this little bomb on the back of here. So if you push this thing forward and then lean it down, oh, well, it didn't take the light with it. So if you're driving this forward, you lean back, and then you can detach the bomb on the way out. And that's kind of fun. It does... Mine's a little stuck right now. It's kind of tight, but I think that's kind of fun. And here's the Batmobile. I think this Batmobile might be one of my favorites in terms of the angles it's able to capture. There's a lot of great shaping on this, like with the front, how it kind of has that curve to it. And this one's a little square, but over here on the sides, where it has these kind of angled parts that are its own separate build that get attached by Technic pins in there. And then these back parts, these parts just hinged down. And then you have this whole back portion that can be tilted up. Usually not that much, but it's just for demonstration. That there's some flick fire missiles in there. And if you know me, I love a creative way to launch flick fire missiles. So you got this part in the back, which allows you to tilt that up, and then and then you can send them flying like this. Okay, that's whatever. That might be as best as we're gonna get. There's some headlight pieces in the front. These plates just on top of that. Taking a look at the bottom, there's kind of a standard car chassis piece in the middle, and that's kind of bulked out by the rest of these beams. Now that I'm looking at it, I think there were some trans-orange disc pieces that go on these parts. Don't know what happened to those. Then you have these wheel well pieces up top that, if they ever come off... Okay, sure. These wheel well pieces, which get placed onto this part and cover up the studs here. That's a nice way of adding curvature. And then, of course, we have the main seat, which has this big trans-orange windshield. This just sticks onto the front through stud connection, so there's no hinge or anything. There might have been a way to give it a hinge, but I can't really think of a way right now. But this works fine as it is. And then you have the steering wheel that's angled down, because if it's angled up, you can't put the windshield on. And then you can, of course, stick Batman in there, and then his cape makes it a little complicated to sit him down on the studs, but there is enough room in here that you can just kind of lay him down, and he's pretty good in there. Stickers in the set are here, here, and here. So overall, I think the set is pretty good. The Batmobile build is probably one of the better ones. I think Riddler's Dragster leaves a little something to be desired, but I think it's still pretty fun. For $30, I think maybe this should have come with like a little side build or something for Flash to do at least. I know he just kind of runs, but like it maybe would be nice to have to give him something more than a banana. But that's gonna be it for me. Let me know what you think of this set in the comments, and I'll see you next time.